Tyrannosaurus rex. Most people think they know about it. They imagine a moment frozen in violence. Jaws open, teeth exposed, a sudden charge toward helpless prey. But that image represents only a fraction of its life. Because a predator does not spend most of its time killing. It spends most of its time existing, waiting, listening, conserving energy in a world where every mistake carries consequences. To understand Tyrannosaurus rex, we must let go of the monster and meet the animal. The ground beneath your feet is warm and damp. The air feels heavy, thick with moisture and unfamiliar sounds. Insects vibrate endlessly in the undergrowth. Somewhere far away, something large moves through water, slow and deliberate. This is not a quiet world. It only feels quiet because you don't yet understand what you're hearing. You are standing 66 million years in the past. Towering trees block most of the sky. Their trunks are wide, scarred, ancient. Ferns crowd the forest floor, brushing against your legs as if the land itself is alive and restless. Every direction feels closed in. Visibility is limited. Nothing here allows long sight lines. That is not an accident. This environment was shaped for ambush. A distant rumble rolls across the floodplain, thunder, low and heavy, echoing through the forest canopy. Clouds gather slowly, stretching shadows across the land. Rain will come soon. When it does, the smells will intensify, sound will carry differently, and the balance of this place will shift. Somewhere nearby, a herd of herbivores freezes. You don't hear a roar. There is no warning cry. What you notice first is absence. Birds vanish from the treetops. Smaller animals retreat into burrows and thick cover. The forest tightens as if holding its breath. Then you feel it. A vibration, faint at first, almost mistaken for thunder. But it repeats, heavy, rhythmic, measured. Each step compresses the earth with a confidence that suggests nothing here dares to challenge it. You cannot see it yet. That is the most unsettling part. Tyrannosaurus rex does not reveal itself quickly. It does not need to. At over 12 meters long, crowned with a skull built to withstand forces beyond imagination, it is not in a hurry. This animal rules a world where patience is more powerful than speed. Rain begins to fall. Large drops strike leaves and soil, dulling sound, blurring outlines. The forest becomes a maze of movement and shadow. Perfect conditions for something that understands this land better than anything else alive. You are not watching a monster prepare to attack. You are witnessing a living system calculating. Every breath the Tyrannosaurus takes pulls in information. Scent travels through wet air. Fear has a smell. Blood has a smell. Weakness has a smell. This predator reads the landscape the way we read written words. Closer now. A massive shape passes between the trees, partially obscured. You catch only fragments. A powerful leg. A scarred flank. Skin patterned not for beauty, but for blending into broken light and shadow. This is not a creature designed to chase endlessly. It is designed to end things decisively. Lightning flashes. For a brief moment, you see it clearly. The head turns slightly. One eye reflects the light. There is no rage in it, no hunger-driven frenzy, only awareness, calculation, control. This animal is not asking whether it can kill. It is deciding whether it should. And as the storm builds overhead, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. You are not observing Tyrannosaurus Rex, you are inside its world, and every rule here was written for its survival. Body rain settles into a steady rhythm, soaking the forest floor and flattening the sharp edges of sound. The storm does not scare the animals here. It reshapes their behavior. Scents spread farther. Tracks soften. Vision shortens. For most creatures, rain brings danger. For Tyrannosaurus Rex, it brings advantage. The great predator moves now, not quickly, not loudly. Each step is placed where roots will not snap, where mud will not betray its weight. The forest seems to part reluctantly as it advances, branches bending, leaves sliding across its scarred hide. This animal has passed through here before. The land remembers its shape. Far ahead, the hadrosaur herd has stalled. They cluster near the river's edge, restless, confused by the shifting wind and the sudden loss of familiar signals. Their safety has always been in numbers and awareness. Tonight, both are failing them. One juvenile lingers at the edge, struggling to keep pace. A twisted ankle, exhaustion, or simply bad luck. Tyrannosaurus Rex senses the imbalance long before it sees it. This is not excitement, this is recognition. The predator lowers its massive head slightly, aligning its body with the terrain. Its heart rate remains controlled. Bursting into motion too early would waste everything. Power is not unleashed until certainty arrives. Thunder cracks overhead. The herd jolts. Panic ripples through muscle and bone. They surge forward, splashing into shallow water, but the juvenile hesitates. Just for a moment. That moment is all the world allows. The Tyrannosaurus charges. The ground convulses beneath its weight. Water erupts as it closes the distance with terrifying efficiency. There is no drawn-out chase, no dramatic struggle. One bite lands with catastrophic force, crushing bone, collapsing resistance instantly. The rain washes blood into the river as the rest of the herd disappears into the storm. Silence follows. The predator stands over the fallen body, breath heavy but controlled. This was not a display. It was a calculation fulfilled. Energy spent, energy gained. As night deepens, other shapes emerge. Smaller theropods circle at a distance, testing boundaries they already know not to cross. Crocodilians slip closer through the water, eyes barely breaking the surface. Even insects arrive, drawn by warmth and scent. The Tyrannosaurus feeds first, tearing through flesh and bone, its jaws performing exactly as evolution designed them to. This kill will echo outward. Scavengers will feed for days. Plants will benefit from nutrients returned to the soil. Even the river will carry fragments downstream. Nothing here exists in isolation. The Tyrannosaurus does not dominate this world by standing apart from it, but by sitting precisely at its center. Later, as the storm fades, another presence makes itself known, a second Tyrannosaurus. It does not approach recklessly. The air between them fills with tension, heavier than any sound. Two giants, each scarred, each aware of the cost of conflict. They circle slowly, reading posture, scent, intent. This is not hatred, it is survival math. After long moments, the newcomer turns away. Territory holds, for now. By the early hours before dawn, the feeding ends. The Tyrannosaurus retreats toward higher ground, leaving the remains to the night. Its body is heavy, satisfied, but its awareness never fully rests. Sleep comes in fragments, muscles relax, senses do not. Mist clings to the forest as morning approaches. Sunlight returns gradually, revealing a world unchanged by the violence of the night. Herbivores re-emerge cautiously, stepping around the memory of danger. Somewhere beyond the trees, the Tyrannosaurus moves on, not triumphant, not bloodthirsty, simply alive. A creature shaped by scarcity, patience, and consequence, long after it disappears, written into the behavior of everything that remains. In this world, survival is not loud, it is precise, and Tyrannosaurus rex is its sharpest expression. As the sun rises higher, the forest settles into its familiar rhythm once more. Tracks soften, scents fade. The river carries away the last traces of the night. If you arrived here now, you might believe nothing extraordinary ever happened. That this land is peaceful, balanced, safe, but it isn't, because this world does not forget its apex. For millions of years, Tyrannosaurus rex shaped everything around it without trying to. Herbivores learned when to move and when to freeze. Smaller predators learned patience or extinction. Even the land itself adapted. Paths worn deeper, behaviors refined, fear embedded into instinct. This was not domination through noise or chaos. It was dominance through presence. The Tyrannosaurus did not need to be seen to be felt. Its shadow stretched far beyond its body, carried in silence, written into the choices of every living thing. Survival here was never random. It was negotiated moment by moment with an animal that represented final consequence. And then, suddenly, the rules changed. The sky darkened. The ground burned. Seasons collapsed into chaos. Food chains unraveled faster than adaptation could follow. In a world stripped of stability, even the most perfectly designed predator had no place left to stand. Tyrannosaurus rex did not fail. Its world did. What remains today are bones locked in stone. Fragments of a life once lived with absolute authority. We rebuild the image from fossils and shadows, from teeth and scars, trying to imagine what it meant to walk through a world that listened when you moved. But the truth is quieter than the legend. Tyrannosaurus rex was not a monster. It was a moment in Earth's history when balance took the shape of teeth, muscle, and patience. And for a brief, unforgiving chapter of time, the land itself moved according to its steps. That world is gone, but its echo still watches us from the past.